Have you ever walked into the kitchen and stood there, staring at the fridge, wondering why on earth you came in? Or maybe someone just introduced themselves to you, and 30 seconds later, their name is already gone like smoke in the wind. If that's ever happened to you, you're not alone, and no, it's not a sign that your brain is broken. It's a sign that your brain, just like your muscles, needs the right kind of exercise to stay sharp. Here's something encouraging. The same memory tricks used by world-class memory athletes are not just for people entering competitions. They work for everyday folks too, especially those of us who are past 60. Because memory isn't about having a young brain. It's about having a trained brain. And the best part? Anyone can train it at any age. Today, we're diving into a handful of those techniques, simple, practical tools you can start using right away to remember names, lists, appointments, and even where you left your glasses. These aren't complicated, and they don't involve apps or hours of studying. They're natural, they're fun, and best of all, they really work. Let's start with something most people don't realize. Your brain remembers images far more easily than it remembers words. That's why the first trick is all about turning information into pictures. You might have heard of this before, it's called visualization. But don't worry, you don't have to be an artist or a daydreamer for this to work. All it takes is turning a word into a silly or vivid image in your mind. Say you meet someone named Rose. Instead of just hearing the name and hoping it sticks, try picturing an actual rose growing out of their shoulder, or maybe imagine them wearing a giant red flower on their hat. The sillier and more unusual the image, the better it sticks. Why? Because the brain loves novelty. It remembers things that surprise it. This works with errands too. Let's say you have to pick up eggs, paper towels, and dog food. Don't just say it to yourself, see it. Picture a dog balancing eggs on its head while wrapped in a roll of paper towels. Weird? Absolutely. Memorable? You bet. It's the absurdity that makes it work. And if you think this is just a gimmick, think again. Visualization is the foundation of what memory champions use to memorize decks of cards, grocery lists, or long speeches. They turn words into pictures, and pictures into stories. And you can do the same. Now, let's talk about something else that makes a huge difference: association. You've probably noticed how hearing an old song can bring back memories from decades ago, or how the smell of something familiar can transport you right back to your childhood kitchen. That's because our brains are wired to connect new information with something that's already familiar. And you can use that same principle when trying to remember names, facts, or details. Let's say you meet someone named Jack, and he reminds you of your cousin Jack who used to love fishing. So in your mind, you link the two. Maybe imagine this new Jack holding a fishing pole and laughing just like your cousin did. That connection doesn't just sit in your short-term memory, it creates a bridge to something personal, which helps it stick. You can even use this with places. If you keep forgetting where you left your keys, try always putting them in the same spot, and then give that spot a name or a mental image. Maybe it's your key cave or your magic bowl. The more personal and specific you make it, the more likely your brain is to remember it. It's not about logic, it's about creating meaning. Now, here's a little habit that memory experts swear by, and it takes less than a minute: repeating things out loud. We often hear something once and expect it to stick. But our brains need reinforcement. When you meet someone new, say their name out loud. Nice to meet you, Linda. If you hear an appointment date, repeat it out loud. Okay, Thursday at 2 p.m. That simple act of speaking the information reinforces it in your brain through a different pathway, auditory instead of just visual or mental. Better yet, turn it into a little conversation with yourself. Okay, I'm picking up milk, bread, and olive oil, milk, bread, and olive oil. Say it like you're teaching it to someone else. You'll be amazed at how something so simple can make the memory stick a little tighter. These memory tricks aren't magic, they're brain-friendly habits that make remembering easier, less stressful, and even a little bit fun. And the great news is, you don't have to do them all at once. Start with one. Try it today. And when it works, let that success encourage you to keep going. Now that we've explored visualization, association, and verbal reinforcement, you've already got a strong start. Each of these tools taps into how the brain naturally works, through images, connections, and repetition, and uses that to your advantage. Let's keep this momentum going, because we still have a couple more memory strategies that are just as powerful and surprisingly enjoyable to use. If you're still watching and feel that these insights are meaningful, please type number 2 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly invite you to do so, and don't forget to turn on the bell, so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos designed to uplift, inform, and inspire. Your support truly means a lot. It's what keeps us going and allows us to continue sharing thoughtful, helpful content just for you. Now, let's continue this journey together. So, now that we've talked about how powerful visualization, association, and saying things out loud can be for your memory, let's take it one step further with a technique that truly transforms how you store and recall information. It's something memory experts call chunking. But don't let that word throw you. It's actually really simple and something you might already be doing without realizing it. Chunking is just the idea of breaking down information into smaller, more manageable pieces. Imagine trying to remember a long phone number with no dashes or spaces. It's hard, right? But the moment you break it into chunks, like 555, 321, 7890, suddenly it feels much easier. That's your brain naturally organizing things into bite-sized bits. And it doesn't stop with numbers. Let's say you have to remember a list of errands: post office, pharmacy, grocery store, and dry cleaners. Instead of trying to recall 4 separate places, group them by type or location. Errands on Main Street becomes your mental folder, and inside that folder are your stops. This simple reframing makes retrieval smoother because your brain doesn't have to sift through random pieces, it goes straight to the folder. The same technique works beautifully with names at a gathering. If you meet several people at once, try grouping them. These 3 folks are from the book club, these 2 are neighbors, and so on. Even if you don't recall every individual name right away, the group association helps you place them faster, and your confidence rises every time that happens. Now here's a fun one: turn information into a story. This is where your imagination can really help you. Instead of just remembering a list of unrelated items, try connecting them with a silly or surprising story. Let's say your grocery list includes bananas, toothpaste, a flashlight, and soup. You could make up a short tale like, a banana brushed its teeth with toothpaste, got lost in the dark with a flashlight, and finally found its way home with a bowl of soup. It's ridiculous, but your brain loves that. This method works because it taps into your brain's love for patterns and narrative. We're wired for stories. It's how humans have passed down knowledge for centuries. When we link information together in a meaningful or humorous way, we're far more likely to recall it than if we just try to memorize a plain list. The sillier, the better. Think about all the nursery rhymes and jingles we remember from childhood. Most of us can still sing the alphabet song, right? That's the magic of rhythm, story, and connection, and we can use the same tools to boost our memory now. Now let's add one more incredibly effective trick to your toolbox: reviewing information at spaced intervals. Memory athletes and brain coaches refer to this as spaced repetition, and it's a powerful way to make information stick long-term. Here's how it works. Instead of repeating something over and over in one sitting, you come back to it at different points throughout the day or the week. For example, if you learn someone's name in the morning, repeat it once after a few minutes, then again after an hour, and then once more that evening. The more you revisit something across time, the more your brain starts to treat it as important and permanent. This is especially helpful for remembering things like new words, medication schedules, or appointment times. You can even use little sticky notes or a simple notebook to help you track what to review and when. It's a bit like watering a plant. You don't flood it all at once, you give it small sips over time, and it grows stronger and steadier. And here's a bonus: these techniques don't just help your memory. They actually build mental confidence. When you start to notice that names are coming to you faster, or that you can recall what someone told you yesterday, that builds trust in yourself. It reduces frustration and makes everyday life smoother. You'll begin to walk into that kitchen and remember why. You'll finish reading a chapter and actually know what you just read. You'll run into someone at the store and confidently say, "Hi, Greg. How's your garden doing?" And that kind of presence, it feels good. It makes conversations more enjoyable and daily tasks more manageable. And it reminds you that your brain is still working beautifully, it just needs the right kind of attention. Memory isn't about perfection. It's about momentum. Every time you use a trick like chunking or storytelling or spaced repetition, you're building new connections, reinforcing old ones, and giving your mind a better chance to shine. And just like building muscle, these techniques get easier and more effective the more you use them. So as we move forward, keep this in mind, your brain is designed to adapt, even now. Especially now. These tools are like gears, you don't have to use all of them at once. Just try one, see how it fits into your life, and let that lead the way to the next. We're almost there, but there's still one more memory method I want to share with you. It's simple, it's powerful, and it's something you can start doing today without changing a thing in your routine. Let's wrap things up with one final memory trick that's both beautifully simple and incredibly powerful, engaging your senses. It might sound a bit unexpected, but tapping into your senses, sight, sound, touch, even smell, can dramatically boost how well you remember things. Why? Because the more parts of your brain you involve in a moment, the more connections you create, and the stronger that memory becomes. Think about it like this. Do you remember the scent of your grandmother's kitchen? Or the sound of your favorite song from when you were a teenager? Chances are, those memories are still vivid, not because you tried hard to memorize them, but because they were tied to rich sensory experiences. So here's how to apply that in everyday life. Let's say you want to remember a new neighbor's name, Sarah. When she introduces herself, take a second to really look at her face. Notice the color of her hair, what she's wearing, the tone of her voice. Maybe she's wearing a bright red scarf, tie that visual to her name in your mind. Sarah with the red scarf. It's such a small detail, but it gives your memory something concrete to hang on to. The same goes for appointments or tasks. If you need to remember to take your medication at lunch, put the pill bottle beside something sensory, like your favorite mug or a colorful napkin. That small touch of sight or texture acts like a memory anchor. Every time you see it, it triggers your brain to remember the task attached to it. You can even play with sound. If you're trying to learn something new, say it out loud or listen to it spoken. Our brains often retain things better when we hear them, especially if we repeat them in our own voice. That's why repeating directions out loud or reading something with expression can help lock it in. And don't underestimate the power of movement. If you're trying to recall a shopping list, try walking through your kitchen and pantomiming the items as you say them. Open the fridge, pretend to grab the milk, turn to the pantry and reach for the cereal. Your brain links the movement to the memory, and suddenly it feels easier to recall when you're in the actual store. These sensory cues are so effective because they ground abstract information in the real world. And when something feels real, when you can see it, touch it, hear it, it becomes easier for your brain to find again later. That's what memory really is, after all, finding the path back to something you've already experienced. The clearer that path, the quicker and easier the journey. Now, before we close, I want to give you something even more valuable than any single memory trick. And that's this, belief. You have to believe that your brain is still capable of growth. That memory isn't something you've lost, it's something you can still shape, nurture, and strengthen. So many people start to doubt themselves after 60, 70, 80. They say, "Oh, I'm just forgetful now," or "That's just what happens when you get old." But that's not the full picture. Yes, our brains change. But they never stop being responsive. They never stop being trainable. And most importantly, they never stop needing love, care, and use. Every time you try one of these techniques, visualization, storytelling, chunking, repetition, sensory engagement, you're telling your brain, "I believe in you." And your brain responds. It rewires. It grows. It adapts. Maybe not instantly. Maybe not perfectly. But it moves forward. And that progress feels amazing. You may notice small wins, remembering a birthday, finding the right word faster, recalling a story in a conversation, and watching someone smile as you share it. These moments matter. They're proof that your memory still works, still thrives, still shines. So let's take a quick breath and look at everything you've added to your mental toolkit today. You've learned how to visualize information and link it with something familiar. You've explored how storytelling makes facts stick. You've discovered the power of chunking, spaced repetition, and sensory engagement. And above all, you've reconnected with your own belief that memory is a muscle, and you still have the strength to keep it healthy and sharp. This doesn't require massive changes. It just takes small, intentional steps. Pick 1 or 2 tricks that resonated with you today and give them a try this week. See what feels natural. Play with the techniques. Make them your own. And most importantly, have fun with it. Your brain is still curious, still capable, still growing. And so are you. If you found something helpful or encouraging in today's video, I'd love to hear about it. What memory trick are you excited to try first? What's one thing you've already started doing that makes a difference? Leave a comment and share your experience, because your story could inspire someone else watching this right now. And if you haven't already, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're building a community here, one where age doesn't limit us, but teaches us how to live smarter, stronger, and more fully. Here's to memory, to mental strength, and to believing in the incredible brain you still have. And as always, here's to living your best life at any age.